there have been a few major changes that I don't think anybody's aware of. I haven't seen anybody post about these. I haven't seen any content regarding these. And these could actually be things that cause a major turning point in the market, one way or the other. We're going to talk about obviously the bullish and bearish analysis in terms of this. I want to address a comment from a viewer that kind of actually directed me to finding this information. And I want to actually look at another post I found here as well. Could this in fact be where we're at currently? So if you guys are new or haven't already, show your support for the channel down below. Hit that subscribe button, that bell. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So the more I look at this chart, the more excited I get. And maybe some people think I'm crazy and don't know what the hell I'm talking about. That's fine. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I know some haters come to the channel just to downlike the videos and just to talk crap. But the more I look at the chart, the more this looks consistent. We are to a T following this Wyckoff accumulation model. Right now, we're in the spring event. And some people think that we're in that bigger Wyckoff accumulation model that we talked about maybe 4 days back or so. And maybe we are, right? The thing is when it comes to crypto, nobody knows for sure. Everybody's just guessing based on the data that we have. And the reason why, again, I think that we're here is because I keep continuing to see the liquidity expansion taking place in the crypto market. I see how historic level of oversold in the market. These are usually huge bottom signals, and you have some sort of recovery following that. And could this actually be taking place at just the right time, heading into some very bullish news? Before I get to this comment and this information that's going to be a surprise to a lot of people, I want to show you guys this post first. This is actually from Matthew Hyland. I was looking at this earlier today. I thought this was very interesting. The last time sentiment was this bad on alts was back in 2018 through 2020, which was the last bottom. Everyone thought they were dead. Then everyone thinks they're dead now. Appropriate after an 83% correction and 4-year bear market back at the major demand zone from 2018 to 2020. And actually overlaid this on the psychology of a market cycle chart, which we have talked about. And I mean, you want to talk about something that also is basically mimicking this to perfection. This is the chart that's showing it. This is actually the others dominance versus BTC dominance. And right now it shows that we're kind of down in this depression phase, right? Which makes a lot of sense. I think a lot of people are feeling that. And you know, we had talked about kind of being in that spot. We moved through the anger range. We moved into the depression phase and everybody was pissed off. And now everybody's thinking that they lost all their money. And that's usually a huge bottom signal for the market. And it doesn't seem like it's too out of bounds to say that we might be moving into disbelief. And coincidentally enough, looking at the chart, this would probably be a disbelief move if we start moving into phase D, where everyone's like, oh yeah, this pump is gonna, not make it like the rest of them, right? This is a sucker's rally. This will fail like the others. That's the exact disbelief phase. So I thought that was really interesting. But this was a comment from a viewer that made me look at a few changes that people maybe are not aware of. So this is what Christian GTCS, I'm sure you guys have seen him, comments a ton on my videos. Appreciate the comment. And what he says, couple no rate cuts, no Clarity Act, or Cardano ETFs in 2025. All three I predicted correctly will destroy BTC and crypto. Miners are leading indicators. Riot must hold $12, et cetera, right? Now, here's the thing. The Clarity Act may in fact be delayed until 2026. Right now, it sounds like is still some pushback from the Democrat side of the aisle. And whether this is right, wrong, or otherwise, right? We obviously need to have, it needs to cross the aisle to get passed and to get signed into law or to make it to the president's desk. And I feel like we're close, but obviously the only thing that's really kind of pushed everything back was the government shutdown. But now that we're out of that, I think it's just a matter of time till these things start rolling and the Clarity Act is signed into law. Maybe that's really early on in 2026. Maybe it's still here in 2025, but obviously there's some other pressing things that they're addressing first. This is the bearish thing, right? Obviously the Clarity Act, a lot of people are pointing towards, is a big moment for the crypto market, creates a lot of validation, can obviously help, roll that adoption into play. But obviously if it's not happening in 2026, it's just more delays, right? But maybe some of these other things are that Christian actually mentioned incorrectly will be a kickoff, right? And why I'm saying this is, not sure if you guys saw, but the Grayscale Doge and XRP ETFs are going live on Monday. Now, obviously, this isn't the ADA ETF, but if you guys haven't noticed, and if you guys haven't followed some other videos, some of the other content I do, we're starting to have a lot of altcoin ETFs very, very quietly creep into the market. All right. SOL ETFs, XRP ETFs, LTC ETFs, HBAR ETFs. ADA ETFs are coming. And I feel like it's going to be one of these weekends where we have the announcement, hey, Grayscale's XRPs or Grayscale's ADA spot ETF goes live on Monday, right? That I think is going to catch a lot of people off guard. And it's happening very, very quietly, but very quickly. And it's going to surprise a lot of people. Now, the last thing, saying no rate cuts. Remember how I keep saying, don't trust the fall in the betting percentage. They were saying like 30% chance of a rate cut coming in December. Well, it's back up to 71%. We're getting a rate cut in December. Market does not have it priced in yet. It's going to surprise a lot of people, going to catch a lot of people off guard. This is why, again, this might be the perfect scenario for us to get at least a relief rally, if not a move into something much, much bigger. Actually, coincidentally enough, the moving into from phase C into phase D of this takes place right at the end of the year. So maybe it's actually a structural push, basically where we bottom here in November and we actually start to climb in December. Nothing crazy, but we start to make some progress. And then January 1, it kicks off this huge rally back to prices that we haven't seen since back here in September and the early part of October. Now, this isn't a guarantee or financial advice or anything like that. But again, these are some of the things that we need to think about and be aware of. Because right now, a lot of people are just anticipating us just falling into this horrible, ugly bear market. And there's just going to be no light at the end of the tunnel. But again, a lot of other things are pointing towards the exact opposite being the case. And you can think whatever you want. Again, I just bring the data here for you guys to make an assessment for yourself. I find this stuff very interesting. And it's kind of funny because some people have said, oh, you should stop making videos. You should stop doing this. And no, I won't stop doing that. I think it's very important that I never used to look at the market this way. And as my content has evolved over time and as I've dove way more in depth in the market, I want everybody to have that same information and that same understanding that I do. That way we can be especially more prepared as we're headed into much bigger times of adoption and the evolution of the market. So I appreciate you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below. Do you think we're going to follow this Wyckoff accumulation model? Are we going to follow that big, ugly, bearish one leading into a horrible bear market cycle? Do you think these things are going to have some impact as we get through the rest of the year? But have a great day. Show your love below. Catch you guys in the next one. Take care.